It was supposed to be a quiet night in the peaceful town of Sugar Land, Texas. The kind of night when everything seems normal, until it isn't. When police were called to a suburban home on a calm spring evening in 2011, they expected another domestic dispute, maybe a break-in. But what they found inside that two-story house would haunt even the most seasoned investigators. Lying motionless in the bathroom was 42-year-old Diana Duvet, a respected accountant, mother of two, and the kind of person everyone described as perfect. Her husband, Robert Duvet, stood nearby, trembling, claiming he'd just come home to find her unresponsive. But the story he told, and the truth that followed, couldn't it have been more different? At first glance, nothing looked out of place. No forced entry, no broken glass, no sign of a struggle. The only odd detail, a half-empty wine bottle beside the tub, and a faint smell of something chemical lingering in the air. Robert told police that his wife had been under stress. "Work's been tough," he said softly. "She wasn't sleeping. Maybe she just snapped." But detectives weren't buying it. Diana's friends had described her as full of life, sharp, organized, and calm under pressure. She had no history of depression, no reason to give up on her family or her future. Something was off. And when the autopsy came back, everything changed. The toxicology report revealed traces of a powerful sedative mixed with alcohol, enough to knock someone unconscious but not enough to kill. The real cause of death? Asphyxiation. Someone had suffocated her. Suddenly, that picture-perfect home became a crime scene, and the prime suspect was the man who'd been sleeping beside her for 17 years. Robert Duvet was a charming, confident man, a successful realtor, active in his church, and known for hosting neighborhood barbecues that everyone loved. But behind the smile was something darker. Detectives discovered that for the past 6 months, Robert had been living a double life, one as a loving husband and another filled with lies, deceit, and late-night texts to a woman named Cara Lynn, a fitness instructor from Houston. They met at a real estate event. What started as harmless flirting quickly turned into an affair. Texts recovered from his phone revealed the affair wasn't just physical, it was emotional. He'd promised Cara a future. He'd told her he was almost free. Almost. But almost free wasn't enough. Cara had started pressuring him. "When are you leaving her?" she texted. "You said you'd be done by summer." Then, 3 weeks before Diana's death, Robert searched the internet for something that froze investigators in their tracks. How to make a death look like an accident in the bathtub. From that moment, everything started fitting together like pieces of a dark puzzle. On the night of the murder, Robert told police he was working late, but phone tower records showed his phone pinged near his house around 9:14 p.m. Hours earlier than he claimed. Neighbors recalled hearing muffled sounds, a thump, then silence. One neighbor even remembered seeing Robert's car in the driveway that night, though he'd sworn he wasn't home. By morning, he was back in character, panicked, crying, and calling 911. But the act didn't last long. Detectives confronted him with the evidence, the searches, the affair, the timeline. Robert broke down, sobbing, saying he just wanted out, that he didn't mean to kill her. But the truth was clear. He'd planned every detail. He drugged Diana's drink, waited for her to pass out, then held a pillow over her face until she stopped moving. Then he staged the scene to look like an accident. He even typed a fake note on her laptop, one that read, "I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry." It was short, too cold. And when investigators analyzed the document, they found something Robert had missed, his fingerprints on the keyboard. When the case went to trial, the courtroom was packed. Diana's family sat behind the prosecution, silent but determined. Robert's mistress was called to the stand, forced to read the texts they'd shared. The defense argued it was an accident, that maybe Diana fell asleep in the tub, that maybe she mixed her medication and wine, but the jury didn't buy it. The evidence was too strong, the story too clean. And when Robert S. internet history was shown on the projector, line after line of disturbing searches, the silence in the courtroom was deafening. How long does it take for someone to drown? Can sleeping pills cause accidental death? How to erase fingerprints from glass? He wasn't a grieving husband. He was a man rehearsing murder. In 2013, Robert Duvet was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Caroline disappeared from the public eye. She moved states, changed her name, and has never spoken publicly again. As for Diana, her family turned her old home into a foundation office that supports victims of domestic violence. They say that even though she's gone, her story still saves lives. And maybe that's the haunting part. Because behind every smiling family photo, behind every perfect couple, there could be a story like this, hidden just beneath the surface. A story where love turns into obsession and devotion turns into death.